So, what if the single biggest threat to your entire cloud environment isn't some super sophisticated hacker group? What if it's actually a simple, common mistake, one that's probably happening right now in organizations just like yours? Well, in the next few minutes, we are going to pull back the curtain on the number one mistake that is behind pretty much every single cloud breach. Here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll zero in on the real cloud threat, and trust me, it's not what you think. Then, we're going to unpack a crucial concept called the shared responsibility model to figure out who's really supposed to be watching the store. From there, we'll see why your old security playbook is basically useless now and what you need to do instead. And finally, we'll see how getting this right doesn't just protect you, it actually helps your business move faster. All right, let's get right into it. What is this real kind of hidden threat to your cloud security? This quote from Jason Edwards absolutely nails it. The real danger isn't some complex movie-style hack. Nope. It's the ordinary decisions, a rushed configuration setting, an access permission that's just a little too generous. These are the things that quietly leave the front door wide open for attackers. Now, the insights we're covering today come straight from this fantastic book, Cloud Security Fundamentals by Jason Edwards. It's our guide for breaking down these core principles, which, honestly, are essential for anyone building or working in the cloud today. And here it is. This is the number one mistake, and it's all rooted in one single dangerous myth, the belief that just because you've moved to the cloud, you've somehow outsourced your security. This one assumption is the tiny crack in the foundation where nearly all breaches begin. So to fix that crack, we have to understand a fundamental concept called the shared responsibility model. This whole model is designed to answer a really simple but vital question: who's responsible for locking which door? Okay, so what is it? Simply put, the shared responsibility model just draws a line in the sand. Your cloud provider, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, they're responsible for the security of the cloud. But you, the customer, are responsible for security in the cloud. The key thing to remember is that it's a partnership, not a handoff. I love this analogy because it makes it so clear. Think of it like you're renting an apartment in a super high security building. The landlord is responsible for securing the building itself, the foundation, the walls, the security guards out front. But you are responsible for locking the door to your own apartment. You decide who gets the key. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because your slice of that responsibility actually changes depending on what kind of cloud service you're using. With infrastructure as a service, or IaaS, you're basically just renting the raw hardware, so you manage almost everything from the operating system on up. With platform as a service, or PaaS, they handle the OS for you. And with software as a service, SaaS, think of things like Gmail or Salesforce. They manage pretty much everything, except for your data and who can access it. See the common thread there? No matter what model you use, you are always 100% responsible for your data and your identities. Okay, so once you really get that you're responsible for what's inside the cloud, it forces you to rethink everything. That old security model of building a strong castle wall with a moat around it is completely obsolete, gone. We used to just build bigger walls, right? Network firewalls, physical data centers. But in the cloud, there is no wall. Your new perimeter is invisible. It's actually made of code. It's defined by things like identities, configurations, and APIs. You've basically shifted from protecting a physical place to protecting access itself. This diagram from the book shows that shift perfectly. Just look. The focus of risk has moved way up from that physical layer at the bottom. The real action, and frankly the real danger, is now all happening up the stack. It all revolves around identity, APIs, and configuration. So let's just be crystal clear about this. Identity is the new perimeter. The systems that manage who you are and what you're allowed to do, which we call Identity and Access Management, or IAM, that is the new front gate. If you get your identity security wrong, it really doesn't matter how strong any of your other defenses are. So this brings us to a huge, huge challenge. Cloud environments are built for incredible speed and constant change. So how on earth can security possibly keep pace with all of that? Well, the short answer is it can't. Not with humans doing manual checks, anyway. Relying on people to review tickets and grant approvals is like trying to inspect a race car with a magnifying glass while it's going 200 miles per hour. It either grinds everything to a screeching halt, or more likely, it just gets skipped entirely. Security has to be automated. The solution really starts right here with a concept called infrastructure as code, or IAC. So instead of manually clicking buttons in a console to create a server, you declare your entire environment, your servers, your networks, your databases, in simple code files. And those files can be versioned and audited just like any other piece of software. That code is then fed into an automated assembly line, which is known as a CI/CD pipeline. This pipeline automatically tests the code and then deploys it to the cloud. This process, continuous integration and continuous deployment, it's the engine that powers all modern software development. And here is the master stroke. This is where it all comes together. To secure that engine, you don't hire more inspectors to stand by the assembly line. No, you build security into the assembly line itself. And this is called policy as code, where you literally write your security rules as code that the pipeline can automatically understand and enforce. So here's how it works in practice. First, you define your security rules in code, something simple like all storage buckets must be encrypted. Then you commit those rules to your pipeline. Now, every single time a developer tries to make a change, it is automatically checked against those rules. If a change is insecure, it's blocked. It's stopped before it ever gets deployed. This is how you build automated preventative guardrails that can actually keep up with the speed of the cloud. And when you put all these pieces together, understanding your role, focusing on identity, and automating your guardrails, something really powerful starts to happen. Security transforms from being a roadblock into something else entirely. It becomes a strategic advantage. I mean it. Great cloud security doesn't just stop bad things from happening. It makes good things happen faster. It gives your developers the confidence to experiment and innovate safely. It proves to your customers that you can be trusted with their data. It becomes a true force multiplier for your business. So we want to leave you with this one question to take back to your own team, your own organization. Is your security a roadblock that's just slowing you down? Or is it a business accelerator, paving the way for faster, safer innovation? The answer to that question will likely define your success in this cloud era. Hey, if this explainer helped you understand cloud security a little better, please do us a huge favor and hit those like and subscribe buttons. It is the single best way to support our work, and it allows us to create more explainers on complex topics just like this one. Thank you so much for watching.